In today's video, you will learn how to shorten your software sales deal cycle. The reason this matters to you is because the faster you can go from initial meeting to the time the customer signs the contract, the more successful you're going to be. Because think about this, in sales, we have quarterly revenue targets, and if it takes you 65 days to close a deal from start to finish, that means if you source a net new deal March 10th, whatever it may be, then you will not be able to close that deal until mid Q2 at the very earliest. But if you can condense your deal cycle and shorten it, that means you will have more flexibility to hit and exceed your targets in quota, and you're set yourself up for more success down the line. I'm going to take you over to this whiteboard right here and outline what are the key milestones along the software sales deal cycle. As an account executive like myself, this is one of the metrics I look at closely is my close time, how long it takes me to close deals. Right now it's about 39 days, but I've been thinking a lot recently about how can I condense it, and I've come up with a few tips that I've been deploying that has been helping that I'm going to share with you right now. Here's the software sales deal cycle on the board. Initial meeting, discovery, demo, stakeholders, pricing, negotiation, close, procurement. I've been an account executive for 5 quarters now. I've hit every quarter. I've promoted from a mid-level account executive to a senior level account executive. My quarterly quota is $216,000. So the information I share in today's video is based on firsthand experience, and I've added in some additional steps that typically aren't talked about in an effort to share real insight based on what I've learned and experienced and how I try to expedite deal cycles. I hope you can read my handwriting. I get paid to talk and add value, which is why I make these videos for you here today. If you want to support the channel, smash the like button right now. Also, take a look at my description. The first link is going to be a link to my new sales podcast, Sales Prestige Podcast. I'm having a lot of fun with it. New episodes out every Monday. First step in the software sales deal cycle is initial meeting. Those SDRs out there, you know all about this. You cold call, you send emails, you send LinkedIn notes, you do whatever it takes, carrier pigeons, to set up initial meetings with your ideal prospects, customers in your target accounts that will yield the highest deal values. So the accounts with more revenue, more employees, you set up meetings with them, you bring in someone like myself, an account executive, to understand what are they trying to achieve? Do they have a timeline? Why now? What is the compelling event? Do they have a budget? And if you can answer some of these questions and schedule a next event, it will become a qualified opportunity, which is essentially an amount of pipeline. All that means is what would the potential revenue be if we close this deal? So if the deal would be $10,000, it's $10,000 in pipeline, and maybe we'll end up closing the deal for $10,000, $5,000, whatever it may be. After that initial meeting, you have number 2, discovery call. The purpose of a discovery is to really understand the customer's situation. My framework for discovery is command of message and medic. Command of message, the philosophy behind this is before scenario, negative consequences, after scenario, positive business outcomes, metrics. So essentially, how are they doing it today? What bad things are happening as a result of it not working well? Oh, there's not automated, it's so manual today. After state, what do you want it to look like? What are the business requirements we need? Oh, integration, omni-channel. I'm throwing out buzzwords at this point. That's command of message. And then medic, think of this as a crossword puzzle to help you be more successful. This will certainly help you close deals sooner. Medics, it's an acronym for metric, economic buyer, decision maker, decision criteria, timeline, compelling event, budget, champion, competitors. I'm missing some in there. I don't want to spend too much time on it. Discovery is challenging. This is where deals are won and lost. The better you understand the customer situation, the higher price tag you can slap on your product. And remember, think big on price. Don't feel bad. It's not their money. And that's a lesson I've had to learn the hard way. If I just put an extra $1,000 on all the deals I close, I would close a significantly more amount of money. So think big on pricing. After you do the discovery, you do the demo. The demo is you clearly understand how is your solution uniquely qualified to help the customer solve their pain or need. You need to really understand why it matters and show them exactly what they care about. Don't just go through the normal demo talk track of this is our analytics, this is what we do so well, we're the leader in the market of this. They don't care. They want to understand how will this actually work for me, and based on my specific challenges, how will it solve for that? Demo, really important. The higher up you go, you will get more resources. So I bring in what I call solution engineers, people on my team that specialize in just demoing. You prep them based on what you learn in the discovery, and you say, let's demo based off of this, and it leads to better outcomes. Let's say you run your own demo, like I do a lot of the time. You do it. I added in another step here, number 4, stakeholders. The reason I lose deals most of the time is lack of executive alignment, meaning I am meeting with a manager, a program manager, or a director, and they were given an order from up top, or maybe they recognize we can improve this process, so they go to learn more about your solution, but their boss or their boss's boss is the actual decision maker who will sign off and say, let's do it, let's not do it. So before you proceed forward to pricing, you need to understand who will be making the decision, who will be signing off, align on stakeholders, and if you can proactively bring in an executive, it's going to lead to more successful deals. That's why I added that step in there. Number 5, pricing. Eventually, they are going to say, what does it cost? So you set up a pricing call. It's best to understand who are the stakeholders and figure out what is the decision process. Once I give you the price, what happens next? Is there a committee? How do you review it? What does this look like? So when I set up the pricing call, what I'm doing, and here's one tip to help you close deals sooner. And we're throwing out multiple tips, but here's one especially, and you might want to write this down and take it away. It's less options, the better. You want to keep it simple. You don't want to say there's 5 options, we can do multi-years, we can do all this. They don't want to think about that. They want to be told exactly what they need. So you say, this is what you need based on what you said. Keep it as simple as possible. In the beginning, I didn't understand this. You need to have it buttoned up. You need to know what everything on the slide means. Keep it very simple and educate them on this so that when they have that resource, they can then take it to their team to explain the value. After you share pricing, a big point on this is a lot of the time you will be unable to get the scheduled next event, meaning you'll go pricing and you won't have another call set up, and time kills deals. So the longer you go from pricing to no activity, the more red flags should be popping up in your head. So this is a big problem I have in my own game. I'm trying to get better at it. So if you have any suggestions, let me know. But that's really the biggest gap I have right now. In a deal that's going well, you do pricing. What you need to understand is, are you selected as the vendor of choice? There's a difference between the vendor of choice and them committing to actually sign and actually signing off. Once you are established as the vendor of choice, meaning they're not looking at any other competition, they've decided they want to do it, you are the vendor, you will most likely go into some sort of negotiation phase where they will say, well, I want this, I want to take that out. And eventually they will probably try and skimp you on price. So that's why it's important from the start to think big on price, so that by the time they negotiate, you are already at your low end, which I found myself at so many times. I'm the lowest price I can go, and they say I want to go lower, and you say, well, we're at the lowest I can go. And it puts you in a really challenging situation. So be prepared to negotiate. Number 7, close. Once you are selected as the vendor of choice, you need to close the deal, meaning you understand the decision process, who's signing, all of that. Once that's done, that is when the job really starts. And I wrote procurement because larger customers have vendor onboarding processes, meaning just because you think they say they want to sign it and you're selected and they have the budget, that doesn't mean you send them the contract and they sign that day. Typically, those processes can take 2 to 3 weeks, depending on the sophistication of the organization. So procurement is the last step. It's important. Here's the second, or one of the biggest takeaways from this video, is that when you are at that phase and they have agreed this price is good, we want to do it, you proactively say, look, based on other customers I work with, my understanding, most of their processes require some sort of legal IT review procurement. Can we proactively get a call set up with XYZ team? One, that helps ensure momentum towards the outcome, which is signing your contract. And 2, it helps the customer to feel better about the process. Because think about this. Most of the time, the customers don't even know what their own process is. So it's challenging enough for you to get it done and to navigate complexity when they don't even know where you're going. So you have to really steer the ship. Here's another pro tip I learned when working with procurement. We had a lead of procurement come and speak with our sales group. Is procurement's job is to get the contract signed, get the job done, to take care of their stakeholders, and to also recognize cost savings for the organization. So if you are negotiating with procurement, they need a win. Get them their win, whatever it may be. and create leverage around the services or the compelling event from a timing standpoint. So in order for your team to have their solution stood up by X, we need it signed by Y. What is it going to take to get us there? If you want to shorten your deal cycle, it starts with understanding all of these steps really well and helping educate the customer to understand what are the steps as well so you can navigate through it. You have to be willing to ask the hard questions, and this is the final point I'll share, is a lot of people are hesitant to have that money talk because they feel bad, it's a lot of money, it's commitment, it's doing the work, it's taking action. You need to be direct with asking questions about how do you purchase this solution? Who is signing it? When can we get it done by? Is it possible to get it done this month? You need to go directly for it. You cannot beat around the bush because it is a disservice to your customer to not be direct, because the more direct you can be, the better you understand their situation, the better equipped you are to help them get the solution stood up to solve their challenges. That is my understanding of the software sales process. Keep in mind, I work corporate accounts, 2 billion revenue or less. I put this formula to the test. It will continue to evolve and iterate over time. So if you got value from today's video, subscribe to the channel not to miss future videos. I hope to continue finding success in my own career, and I'm going to bring you each step of the way and help as many of you as I can. So I really appreciate your support. It's why I do it. It's why I make videos each and every day. If you like today's video, hit the like button if you haven't already. Comment down below for the algorithm. Go check out Sales Prestige Podcast. Let me know what you think of episode 1. I'm actually recording episode 2 tonight with my SDR. Stay tuned for that. Have a great rest of your day. Bye.